My boyfriend is marrying me just to spite the woman he truly loves. I became Ethan Vance's girlfriend when Summit Enterprises was on the verge of bankruptcy. Over the 5 years we were together, I leveraged family resources behind the scenes to help his company thrive. On the eve of its IPO, he finally proposed, telling me he would make me the happiest woman in the world. But I accidentally discovered chat logs with his friends on his computer. I'm marrying Sophia just to make Isabella jealous. The company's about to go public, I'll be a billionaire soon. I'm sure Isabella won't stand by and watch me marry that woman. As long as Isabella is willing to come back from abroad for me, I'll leave that woman and marry her. Seeing this, I didn't hesitate to have my family withdraw all investments. Let them be together, a couple bound for misfortune. Dad, pull out the shares from Summit Enterprises in a few days. With the company's IPO imminent, my dad withdrawing funds would be an utter disaster for Ethan. Did that kid bully you? Dad will handle it for you. Dad had always doted on me, and without asking for details, he was ready to go confront Ethan. I gave a bitter laugh. Dad, I'll settle this account with him myself. My voice caught with a hint of a sob. To keep Dad from worrying, I quickly hung up. My gaze remained fixed on the shocking chat logs on the computer screen before me. Ethan was my senior in college. In my freshman year, I was being harassed by some thugs. Ethan stepped in, fighting hard against them for me and getting beaten bloody. But it was seeing him like that made me fall deeply in love with him. Growing up, besides Dad, he was the first man who would fight so desperately for me. So back in college, I pursued him for a long time, but he never agreed to be with me. Looking back now, I was truly being foolish. His coldness only made me want him more, making me think a man like that was more charming. It wasn't until after graduation, when his company went bankrupt and he was millions in debt, that he slowly came out of that dark period with my support. Only then did he finally agree to be my boyfriend. I pleaded with Dad to leverage family resources, silently helping him behind the scenes to get his company back on track. After 5 full years, the company was finally close to going public. He proposed to me on the day the IPO was approved. I thought the two of us could finally end up together. Who knew that all of it was just for him to make the woman he truly loves jealous? And I was just a pawn. On the wedding day, I'd probably become a laughingstock for everyone. Today, Ethan was out entertaining clients. He must have left in a hurry for some reason, which is why he forgot to log out of his messaging app on his computer. Even though the chat logs had made my heart ache to the point of being unable to breathe, I took the opportunity to open his social media feed. I had never seen his posts before. He never seemed to post anything, even when we traveled together, he wouldn't share any sweet photos of us. But opening his feed now, I discovered he did post. He had just blocked me from seeing them all along. Soon, I found a picture of a girl on his feed. Although only a fair wrist was visible, the diamond bracelet on it was particularly glaring. Because not long ago, I had seen it in his suit pocket. I had thought he'd finally become romantic and planned to put it on my wrist at our wedding. Instead, he had given it to another woman. It turned out he wasn't incapable of romance. He just had no romance for me. Just then, my phone rang. Sophia, hurry over, Ethan got into a fight. Over the phone, I faintly heard Ethan's enraged roar. You bastards, you have to apologize to my girlfriend. My heart seized up. I wasn't even with him, the girlfriend he was referring to definite. Ely wasn't me. Wanting to know what happened tonight, I put on a coat and went to the shoe rack, only to find the scarf I'd given him lying quietly on the floor. Looking closely, there were clear footprints on it. This was a scarf I had spent over 10 days knitting myself, pricking my fingers multiple times. But he didn't cherish it at all. I bent down, picked up the scarf, and expressionlessly threw it into the trash can. Then I called a taxi and went to the bar where Ethan had gotten into a fight. There, Ethan was holding a woman with a tear-streaked face. On her fair wrist, she was wearing that shimmering diamond bracelet. Those guys accidentally spilled a drink on Ethan's friend just now, so Ethan started fighting them. Ethan drank a lot today, I was afraid he'd cause trouble. Ethan's friend quickly rushed over to me and explained. Hearing the reason, I couldn't help but give a bitter laugh. I remembered accompanying him to entertain clients a few years ago. When the deal fell through, a client deliberately spilled wine on my face. He hadn't gotten angry like this then. Instead, he blamed me for being naive and causing the cooperation to fail. Seeing Ethan about to go fight the man again, his friend quickly stepped in to stop them. Ethan! All right, you're getting married soon, don't cause any trouble. Unexpectedly, Ethan shook off his friend. Who the hell is getting married? This bastard spilled drinks on my girlfriend. You think that's okay? No apology, no one's leaving. Ethan's eyes were hazy with drink, and he was swaying as he walked. His words made some of his friends there, who knew me, visibly awkward. They couldn't help but turn their gazes towards me. I gave a cold smile, then stepped forward and slapped the man confronting Ethan. With my slap, the venue fell silent. You bitch! How dare you hit me? After a moment of silence, the man exploded in rage, lunging at me aggressively. All I wanted was to see Ethan's reaction. Would he still protect me without hesitation, fighting the other person like he did back then? However, Ethan actually pushed me on the shoulder, roaring, "What are you doing here causing trouble? Haven't I had enough trouble today? You're useless." Ethan's words made my heart turn completely cold. He looked at the other man self-righteously and said, "Now we're even. Get lost." The other man was relatively rational. He didn't continue to cause trouble and finally left, muttering curses. After he left, Ethan collapsed heavily onto the couch. Ethan's friend awkwardly explained to me, "Sophia, don't overthink it, Ethan had too much to drink and was talking nonsense. This is Isabella, Ethan's high school classmate, she just got back from abroad today." I glanced at Isabella faintly, tears still hung in her eyes. She looked like she had suffered immense grievance. "Isabella, this is Ethan's fiancée, Soph." However, before his friend could finish introducing me, Ethan suddenly sat up from the couch. "Colleague! What fiancé?" This sudden blow made my body tremble violently. The atmosphere in the venue instantly became incredibly awkward. After a long moment of silence, Ethan's friend quickly smoothed things over and handed me a drink. "Sophia, I'd like to make a toast to you." Unexpectedly, Ethan, who had just slumped back down, sat up again, glaring at his friend and roaring, "Don't you know your Sophia is allergic to alcohol?" Indeed, he knew I was allergic to alcohol. But what I didn't expect was Isabella's reaction next. "Ethan, you've had too much to drink. Chris is toasting Sophia, not me." Ethan then relaxed. "Oh, right. Well, she can drink. She can drink a lot. Among everyone in the office, she can drink the most." Hearing this, I felt something in my chest shatter with a bang. It left my heart in pieces, bruised and bloody. I remembered a work dinner a few years ago. Before we went, I told him I was allergic to alcohol. But once we were there, he immediately told me to go around and toast the clients one by one. That night, I ended up in the hospital, and he even blamed me for being dramatic, saying I collapsed from just that little bit of alcohol. Yet, despite such a clear lesson, he still hadn't remembered that I was allergic to alcohol. It could only mean that in his heart, he had truly never cared about me. Coming here tonight, I had held on to one last flicker of hope. But now, it was completely crushed. At this point, Isabella stood up and said to me, "Since you're here, you can take Ethan back. I just got back to the country and can't take care of him tonight. Oh, and tomorrow morning, remember to make him some ginger honey tea when he wakes up. He loves it. And if he doesn't drink it, he'll have a headache all day. Don't forget to cover him with a blanket tonight either. His sleep is always poor when he's had too much to drink." Every word Isabella spoke told me she seemed to know Ethan better than I did. Today, she was just dumping this mess on me. I stared at Isabella's innocent eyes for a long time, truly wanting to slap her. But ultimately, I restrained myself. I wanted to see how long this charade of theirs would go on. On the way back, I couldn't help but cry. 5 years of dating, plus the 4 years I pursued him. I had loved this man for a full 9 years. And this was the result. This also reminded me of the chat logs I had seen earlier. As long as Isabella was willing to come back from abroad for him, he would leave me and marry Isabella. Today, he had achieved his goal. No wonder he had rushed out so early this afternoon. He must have gone to the airport to pick her up. Just then, Ethan's phone vibrated. I opened it and saw a message from Isabella. But my gaze immediately fixed on Isabella's profile picture. They had Chung Ed to matching couple avatars, probably during that gathering just now. I remembered last year, I hired a famous cartoonist to draw a detailed avatar for Ethan and me. I excitedly asked Ethan to change his profile picture. He cursed at me, calling me childish and telling me to focus on work. But now, he and Isabella had changed to one that was even more childish. Then, I felt a small box in Ethan's suit pocket. I carefully took it out. However, when I saw the DR logo, my breathing instantly became uncontrollably rapid. My hands trembled violently. The rapid breathing made me feel lightheaded, and the world started spinning. Ultimately, I mustered the courage to open the box. Inside was indeed a DR diamond ring. The back was engraved with the letters YH, which were Isabella's initials. I had asked him countless times for a DR ring for our wedding. After all, each man can only customize one in his lifetime. But he was always unwilling, saying it was just a gimmick. However, he had simply been waiting for Isabella to engrave her initials on this most important ring. I painstakingly wiped away the fresh tears welling in my eyes. Then, while Ethan was asleep, I used his fingerprint to open Isabella's message. "Honey, don't forget to help me choose a wedding dress tomorrow." Boom, seeing this message, my head felt like it was buzzing. I had brought up choosing a wedding dress many times, but he always told me to pick it out myself, using the upcoming IPO as an excuse not to accompany me. The truth was, he didn't care what I bought. Because, to him, I was never going to wear that wedding dress anyway. In that moment, I truly wanted to have a good cry. But seeing the taxi driver in the front seat, I could only desperately pinch my thigh, trying hard to hold back the tears. My nails dug deep into my flesh. I could only use physical pain to numb the emotional pain. Trying to make myself let go of this love I had clung to for years. The next morning, I still made him ginger honey tea as Isabella had instructed. However, he took a sip and spat it out. "What is this stuff you made? Why did you add ginger? Don't you know I hate the smell of ginger the most?" But I distinctly remembered Isabella saying he loved the taste of ginger honey tea the most. Soon, I understood. He didn't like the taste of ginger honey tea, he liked Isabella's taste. He liked the taste of the woman he truly loves. I had a sleepless night and had come to terms with a lot regarding this relationship. Seeing him like this now, I surprisingly didn't get angry. Instead, I poured the entire bowl of ginger honey tea into the trash can. After putting on his shoes, Ethan said coldly, "The company is about to go public. I have a lot of things to deal with. Stop causing me trouble." With that, he turned around, slammed the door and left. I knew he was going to accompany Isabella to choose a wedding dress. I quickly had someone find the bridal boutique where Isabella was choosing her wedding dress. Actually, I didn't even need to investigate. Without any surprise, Ethan had chosen the most expensive, high-end bridal boutique in the city. It was the same shop I had already visited 4 or 5 times. 3 days ago, I had ordered the most expensive wedding dress in the country there. Today was supposed to be the day the dress arrived at the store. However, when I arrived at the bridal boutique entrance, I happened to see Isabella wearing that very wedding dress, twirling around in front of Ethan. Ethan was discussing something with the manager. "Ethan, I really love this wedding dress. I just have to have this one," Isabella said, clinging to Ethan's arm, whining and acting spoiled. Ethan was negotiating with the manager. "Call that lady and tell her I'm willing to pay an extra $10,000 and compensate her $10,000, as long as she's willing to let me have this wedding dress." Hearing this, I couldn't help but give a bitter laugh. It turned out, for the woman he truly loves, he could be so generous. The manager was naturally tempted by the price Ethan offered. She turned and went into the back, saying she would call me. I slowly walked up behind Ethan. Isabella saw me first. Her face instantly turned pale. Then she poked Ethan's arm, looking at him pitifully. Ethan finally turned around. Seeing me, his brow furrowed instinctively. With so much going on at the office, what are you doing here instead of being at work? Yet, not only did he show no embarrassment, he immediately started questioning me accusingly. I quietly watched him, not wanting to argue. Last night, I had cried all my tears for him. Being sad for him again wasn't worth it at all. Seeing I didn't speak, Ethan pinched the bridge of his nose, then finally spoke again. Sophia, you see it too, the person I truly love is Isabella. Don't make a scene. I'll give you a sum of money, and I hope you can leave gracefully. My gaze remained fixed on his eyes. I only came here to ask him one last question. Ethan, I just want to know, all these years, did you ever truly love me? Hearing this, Ethan's lips curled into a scornful smile. Sophia, I know you're head over heels for me. But today, in front of Isabella, I have to tell you honestly, I never loved you. I just felt sorry for you, pursuing me for so many years, that's why I agreed to be with you. Although this was the answer I expected, Ethan's words were even more heartless than I imagined. Good. Since he could be so heartless, why couldn't I? Just then, the manager came out of the back. Mr. Vance, I'm sorry. Before she could finish, she saw me and looked surprised. Oh, Ms. Liu, you're here. This gentleman. I interrupted her before she could finish. It's all right. The wedding dress is for this lady. I hope they can be happy. With that, I too reneged and left the bridal boutique, dialing Dad's number. Dad, tell him about withdrawing the funds on Ethan's wedding day. It was time to put an end to everything with Ethan. Even though 9 years of love left me feeling resentful. Perhaps these were the most precious 9 years of my life, encompassing my entire youth. But I had to take responsibility for being blind and pay the price for my naivete. The cost of unrequited love is always heavy. But I had to move on from all this and let my life start anew. After leaving the bridal boutique, I returned to the office. As soon as I entered, I heard colleagues discussing. Did you hear? The bride Mr. Vance is marrying this time isn't Sophia, but a girl named Isabella. I heard she's Mr. Vance's the woman he truly loves, he's liked her for many years. Director Davis just showed us a photo of that girl, she's way prettier than Sophia. Sophia is miles behind her. If I were Mr. Vance, I'd pick Isabella too. Sophia is nothing compared to Isabella. Wow. I always thought Sophia was going to be the boss's wife. Turns out she was just a backup. These words were like sharp knives, stabbing at my heart. I tried hard to pretend I heard nothing and walked straight to my office, then packed my personal belongings from the office into cardboard boxes, one by one. I understood the saying that when the person leaves, the tea cools down. These employees, who used to call me Sophia, now that they knew Ethan wasn't marrying me, immediately became so cold. Ha! Human nature! However, while I was packing, Ethan suddenly pushed the door open angrily and started yelling at me. What happened with Mr. Peterson's account? Why did Mr. Peterson suddenly say he's not partnering with us anymore? Are you sabotaging things behind my back? You need to know how much I've sacrificed for this company over the years. Sophia Liu, keep personal feelings separate from work. If you're going to retaliate against my company because of our relationship, I won't let you get away with it. I worked so hard to get to this point. I'm about to become the chairman of a public company. The hardships behind this are beyond your comprehension. Hearing Ethan's words, I couldn't help but want to laugh. Because over the years, many of the company's deals were facilitated by me behind the scenes. My dad was probably already having some of the company's partners cancel their collaborations. He actually thought the company could go public based on his own abilities. But I didn't argue with him, I just replied coldly. I didn't contact Mr. Peterson. Ethan then noticed I was packing my office supplies. He frowned. You're resigning? Yes, there's no point in staying at the company anymore. I nodded faintly, not even looking up at him. It's probably for the best. Your office can be cleared out for Isabella, he replied instinctively. Hearing that, my heart clenched. Even if I didn't leave, he would probably be eager to force me out. Then, he threw a check in front of me. It was for $50,000. Well, you were with me for so many years. This $50,000 is my compensation to you for breaking up. Heh. This time, I truly laughed, but he couldn't have heard the bitterness in my laughter. So, I was only worth a mere $50,000. What are you laughing at? Is it not enough? Sophia, all these years, the place you lived, the food you ate, even the clothes and things you used, which one wasn't paid for with my money? I'm being generous by giving you severance. Ethan spoke self-righteously. Looking at him like that, I felt more sadness than anger. That I had loved a man like this for 9 years. How foolish could I be? I slowly picked up the check from the desk. A hint of disdain appeared at the corner of his mouth. Until I tore the check in half right in front of him. Keep it for yourself. You'll need that money for your life in the future. Besides cutting ties with him at work, I also needed to sever every single memory of our life together. Although there were some pleasant moments in those memories, most of them were likely just my one-sided happiness, moments I felt were happy. Looking back now, his coldness was always just indifference. However, as soon as I got home/apartment, I saw many things thrown outside the front door/doorstep. All my personal belongings. Yes, throw these out too. Throw away the bed sheets too. I would never touch sheets that woman slept on. And these cups, throw them all away. Inside, Isabella's voice could be heard. She was directing the moving company workers, pointing at things in the apartment. She had thrown out almost half of the things in the apartment. My clothes were scattered all over the floor, several pieces stepped on with dirty footprints. Aren't you going a little too far? I wasn't enraged, just spoke coldly. She turned back then, meeting my gaze, a hint of superiority in her eyes. I thought you wouldn't come back, so I just cleaned things out, she said lightly. Then, she walked slowly towards me in her high heels. Ethan has dumped you. You should understand that I'm the mistress of this home now. It's only natural I throw away your things, right? After all, I'm a germaphobe. I won't touch things other women have touched. Looking at her like that, I suddenly understood why Ethan loved her so much. Because they were truly the same kind of people. Both so ridiculous. Go ahead and throw them away. I don't want these things anyway, I smiled slightly. I only came back to retrieve one thing. The most important thing in my life. With that, I walked past her, wanting to go inside to get that important item. However, she reached out and blocked me. What do you think you're doing? This is my home now, you have no right to go in. I looked at her and explained, there is something very important to me inside. I'll leave as soon as I get it. With that, I went straight to the living room, but when I saw that one corner of the seashell sculpture had been chipped off, the anger I had suppressed finally exploded. How dare you chip it? This seashell sculpture was made by my mom before she passed away. She spent a whole day with me at the beach, collecting shells one by one and gluing them together. Ever since I moved in with Ethan, I had placed it in the most prominent spot in the apartment. Looking at it every day felt like looking at Mom. But now, it was broken. Just like the phantom of my mom had also shattered. Just as I bent down to pick up the shell fragments that had fallen to the ground, Isabella picked up the seashell sculpture. It's just some piece of junk, what's there to be sad about? Put that down. Seeing her casually playing with it in her hand, my heart leaped into my throat. She raised an eyebrow and, right in front of me, let go. Bang! The seashell sculpture, already held together with glue, shattered completely into pieces. Oops, my hand slipped. Isabella feigned innocence, but a triumphant smile played on her lips. Seeing the sculpture completely shattered, my heart that had just started to heal was smashed to pieces in that moment. It hurt 100 times more than losing Ethan. You bitch! I stood up like a madwoman, swinging my hand and slapping Isabella hard across her fair face. Smack! Deep finger marks appeared on her soft face instantly. Just then, Ethan returned. Seeing the scene, he rushed inside and backhanded me, slapping me back. Isabella threw herself into Ethan's arms, whimpering and crying. Ethan, she hit me. My face hurts so much. I just accidentally dropped the seashell sculpture, and she beat me up like this. Ethan, You have to stand up for me. Filled with rage, my chest was heaving violently. I stared intently at Ethan, tears in my eyes. Ethan knew how important the seashell sculpture was to me. However, Sophia Lou, don't you dare go too far. Was it worth hitting someone just for a seashell sculpture? Apologized to Isabella immediately. Seeing his reaction, I finally knew that he had truly never cared about me. I was so angry I couldn't say anything. I just bent down and picked up the shells from the ground, one by one. Soon, the shell fragments cut my fingers, causing a sharp pain. Are you deaf? I told you to apologize to Isabella. But Ethan still wouldn't let up. I continued to ignore him, picking up the shells. But just as I finished picking up the last fragment and stood up, Ethan swung his hand and knocked all the shells back onto the ground. I told you to apologize to Isabella. His voice became even more piercing. I bent down again to pick up the fragments. At this moment, all I wanted was to take these fragments with me. I didn't care about anything else. In my ear, Ethan's voice comforting Isabella rang out. Don't mind this crazy woman. I'll take you to the hospital to get checked out first. The wedding is soon. I want you to be the most beautiful bride. Crazy women like this won't come to a good end. With that, Ethan gently picked up Isabella and took her to the hospital. When I walked out of the apartment with the shells, it started raining outside. Good. This way, no one would see the tears I couldn't hold back anymore. That day, I don't remember how I walked all the way from Ethan's home/apartment back to mine. I also forgot how long I walked. I only remember collapsing into Dad's arms as soon as I saw him at the front door/doorstep, my legs giving out. It was also the first time I saw him shedding tears of heartbreak. Daughter, why were you so foolish? I'll make that bastard come here on his knees to see you right now. I looked at Dad weakly, but my voice was exceptionally firm. Dad, I'll handle it myself. After saying that, I fainted. For the next few days, I came down with a high fever and was delirious/in a haze every day. While dreaming, I dreamed about Mom. She didn't say anything, just held me gently like she used to when I was little. The day my fever broke was the wedding day of Ethan and Isabella. Because I had never let Dad interfere with my relationship with Ethan, Ethan still didn't know that the largest investor in his company, Chairman Miller, was my father. Hiding my identity had always been Dad's idea. 5 years ago, when Ethan agreed to be my boyfriend, I excitedly told Dad the news. That day, Dad smiled and said, Sophie, before you get married, you can't tell your boyfriend about who I am. Only then can you see his true intentions. Only then can you be sure he's not with you for the money. And back then, naive me even argued with him. Dad, Ethan isn't like that at all. We're together because of love. Heh. Thinking back to what I said that year, I was truly naive to the point of being foolish. As the largest investor in the company, Dad was naturally the most important guest at Ethan's wedding. When I arrived at the ballroom/venue, even though the ballroom was already full of guests, Ethan and Isabella were still waiting eagerly at the hotel entrance because Dad hadn't arrived yet. Ethan's wedding was truly lavish. Not only was there a huge banquet with hundreds of tables of guests, but he had also invited many reporters for a live broadcast. It was so high profile, like they were announcing their beautiful love to the world. The giant wedding photo on the hotel's exterior wall was clearly visible from 100 yards away. Too bad. This wedding won't be happening today. Sop. Sophia, what are you doing here? You're not here to make a scene, are you? Today's the boss's big day. Don't mess things up. Quick, go get security. How can this Oman be at the wedding? She must be here on purpose to cause trouble. She's already been dumped by the boss and she's choosing now to make trouble. How shameless. Soon, colleagues from the office noticed me and rushed towards me, ready to push me out. After all, they were riding on his coattails. With the company's IPO imminent, their salaries and bonuses would double, and if they were lucky, they might even get some stock. They were all eager to cling to Ethan's coattails. Soon, security guards and Ethan showed up. Perhaps because of the large media presence, Ethan didn't explode in rage but maintained a gentlemanly facade. However, in his eyes, I saw pure hatred. We've broken up. Today is Isabella and my big wedding day. I hope you don't make a scene. With that, he motioned to his secretary. He took the check and scribbled a few lines, then handed it to me. I know you came for money. Here's $50,000. This should be enough, right? Today, I don't want to lose my temper. Be smart and leave now. At this moment, I saw Isabella say something to the media, and the reporters immediately turned their cameras on me. Perhaps she wanted the world to see what an unreasonable ex I was. I looked at the cameras and spoke slowly. As the largest investor in the company, can't I come to the boss's wedding? As soon as I said that, the venue suddenly fell silent. But only for a moment, before a burst of laughter erupted. Ha 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 ha, this woman must have lost her mind from the heartbreak, huh? This woman must be crazy. She says she's the largest investor? We all know she's nobody significant. If this woman hadn't relied on Mr. Vance all these years, she probably wouldn't even be able to eat. Now she says she's the largest investor. In the office, this woman was useless. If the boss hadn't taken pity on her and looked out for her before, she probably would have been fired long ago. Everyone was looking at me mockingly. Even Ethan couldn't help but laugh, watching me with amusement. I know you're head over heels for me, and without me, your whole world has fallen apart. But really, you don't need to make up excuses like this. It just makes you sound mentally unstable. Take this money. Go see a doctor. If you've really lost your mind, you should get help. Isabella even took out her phone and called a psychiatric hospital. Hello, we have a mentally unstable person causing a disturbance at my wedding. Please send someone immediately to take her away. All right, since she's mentally unstable, have security remove her first. I don't want a good day like this ruined by someone like her. At Isabella's command, several security guards came forward and tried to grab my arm, until Dad's voice rang out. Whoever dares touch my daughter. My daughter? Dad's voice was like a thunderclap out of nowhere. Everyone turned their gaze towards Dad. Their eyes filled with shock and fear. Ethan swallowed hard, his lips started trembling uncontrollably. Chairman Miller, you're kidding, right? He looked at Dad subserviently, with visible fear in his expression. Dad's response was a hard, forceful slap. Smack! It echoed like thunder. Ethan stumbled back several feet, nearly tripped and fell to the ground. Who are you? How dare you hit my husband? Isabella didn't understand what was happening. Seeing Dad slap Ethan, she lunged towards him aggressively. But immediately after, another slap rang out. This time, it was a terrified Ethan who ran up and slapped Isabella. Disrespectful! How dare you speak to Chairman Miller like that? Apologize to Chairman Miller immediately. It was clear that within moments Ethan was completely panicked. He clearly understood what the consequences of offending Dad would be. Ethan, you abandoned my daughter for this woman? Dad's face was terribly grim. The venue was a complete uproar. Oh my God, what is happening? Sophia's father is actually Chairman Miller. Holy cow, the young mistress was in the company all along. The boss didn't even know this. It's over. The boss offended Chairman Miller like this, the company is definitely finished. Forget about going public, it will probably go bankrupt before long. Some of the employees even rushed forward to plead for Ethan. After all, if the company went bankrupt, their fate was obvious. Every single one of them would be unemployed. The wealth they were about to get would all vanish into thin air. Sophia, you've been with the company for so many years, you must have feelings for it. You can't let Mr. Vance's personal relationship problems affect the company. That's right, Sophia. Why don't you take over the company? We're all on your side. They were silent and terrified, not daring to breathe. Sophia, as for the company, I'll let you decide, Dad said calmly, looking at the scene. This seemed to give Ethan a glimmer of hope. With a thud, he knelt down before me, in front of everyone there, including the reporters. Wife. I never expected him to call me wife. I had wished so much that he would call me wife in my ear every morning. I had asked him many times, but he could never bring himself to say it. The first time was at this moment. How ironic! You have no right to call me that. It sickens me. Your wife is her. I've made it happen for you both. Smack, as I said that, he raised his hand and slapped himself hard. Sophia, I was wrong, I was really wrong. The one I truly love in my heart has always been you. Especially now, without you, I can't live. At this moment, he was as pathetic as a dog. Get up! However, Isabella grabbed him, her face full of anger. Ethan, get up! Kneeling to a woman like this, where's your dignity? You clearly love me. Even without the investment, the company can still grow. I came back from abroad for you. But as soon as Isabella finished shouting, Ethan suddenly stood up, eyes bloodshot. He grabbed Isabella by the neck. Immediately, Isabella's face turned red/swollen. Ethan still had a face contorted in rage, yelling at Isabella, "This is all your damn fault. You're just a trophy wife. I was blind to fall for you. Get the hell out of here now." Looking at Ethan like that, I finally felt a deep sense of disgust for this man. Dad was right. Don't let a man know his girlfriend is rich. Otherwise, he's not after love. He's after money. Dad, let's go. I truly didn't want to watch this disgusting scene for another minute. I took Dad's arm and left the venue. Sophia, I love you. I truly love you. Please give me another chance. Without you, I can't live. Behind me, Ethan's voice still echoed. I replied coldly, then die.